Hello everyone, and welcome back to our hardcore survival series here in Norland. And in the last episode, we started to get ourselves some trade routes going, or at least our first trade route, and we are going to be trying to get the rest of our trade routes going as well. However, we are going to need some paper. We can either wait to buy paper from the trader, or what we're going to try to do, we're going to try to make some paper workshops, and in order to do that, we are actually going to need a workshop as well, because we are going to need tools in order to actually produce the paper. So that's going to be another thing. And I think we're going to be working towards our final goal here of this series, which is basically to actually survive hardcore mode, of course. And you can't really do that if you do not at some point start to worry about your army. And having a big enough army to actually not only deal with any threats to your civilization, but also to attack and take control of new territory. And so to do that, we're going to need money, because we're going to be hiring a bunch of peasants. Now, you could actually go and hire mercenaries instead. However, you only get them for 10 days, and honestly, they're a little bit more expensive. Like this one is 14 combat, 210 gold in cost, and the only extra thing he gets is a dagger. Versus, like, we can hire one of our peasants here that is 14 combat as well, and only 140 gold. So to me, that's kind of an easy call. Now, the gold amounts are a little bit different here. I don't know if it's just because of the culture. I can't really remember why this has changed. Something that they did, though, changed it. So as you can see, one of these macaws for 15 combat is 160 gold, and then it changes to this guy, 200 gold for a 10 combat. So something is affecting it. It's not just the combat skills. It could be their age, I suppose. Maybe them being older somehow actually affects it. It could also just be their command skill, perhaps, or even their mood. But either way, we would want to go with these Varn ones, so we are going to be trying to get as much money as we possibly can to build ourselves an army. And we're going to do a little bit of reorganization now. So we're going to actually move up this warehouse, and we're going to move up this warehouse. And the reason for that is we want to place down a couple of new warehouses, and we wouldn't be able to place it here because of these stone here. So we're going to go ahead and place 2 of those down so that we can get more resource capacity, because we are going to need to build up some more blanks, or planks, and potentially some more iron for more tools, although I think we probably get enough from our tribute, so we should be fine there. But either way, we are going to need more room so that we can hold the supplies that we need to make our paper. We're also going to move up our mill. We're going to place that here. We're going to move up this one. Yeah, we'll just restart the upgrade on it. And that gives us a little bit of extra room down here. We're going to move this one as well. And we're going to place a new one. Set that to build first. Upgrade build first. Perfect. Okay. And then we're going to move up the saw shed to right here. And we're going to build another one of those as well. We are going to be needing more planks. And we'll go ahead and fix up this road again. Which ones were we using? I think it was these. Yes. And we'll just move this over here. This road can just go right here. This one can go down. Perfect. That won't actually work. So just circle this around. Okay, that should be good. And destroy that road, and one more road going through here just to get to those warehouses. So that should all be pretty much fine for what we need right now. I guess we'll just make that look a little bit better. And we could even place more woodcutters camps, but I think for right now we're probably good on those. We have plenty of wood still. We did use up a little bit of it to move things, but that should be fine. And we're going to place down a paper warehouse here. And a regular workshop here. And we'll go ahead and loop a road around here as well. Okay, that should be fine for everything that we need to build right now. And we are just going to be trying to build up as much flour as possible, get ourselves towards the paper. And hopefully, so we'll be selling flour to Ugrad and Vasna, and hopefully somebody else will start to buy it, because I don't really know why they want moonshine so badly. Otherwise, we could always potentially sell planks to Reckon, so we'll just see how that goes. But for right now, I think that is okay. Let everything kind of develop now and see where we take this next. Okay, so we have finished building one of our houses. We're going to keep upgrading this, and I think we're probably going to do maybe 3 more just to be really safe for how much workers we're going to be needing. So go to housing, residential house, another vertical, and we will place 3 more. We're not going to set these to build first. It's actually not that important at the moment. The most important thing right now is actually to get this workshop going, because we want to be making tools as fast as possible, and we are going to be needing the iron for that. And we are going to also be needing more planks. I'm not too sure what are they all being used on. I think it's just the upgrades. Yes, okay. So we should start to get some excess planks soon once we get done building these extra production buildings. They aren't used on the housing. I don't think they're used on warehouses either. Nope. And we don't need to worry about setting these build first either. We just want our production buildings. Those are the most important parts right now. So we'll set, let's see. I'm thinking beyond the workshop, probably this other saw shed, because we are going to be needing that for the paper. And the paper workshop is kind of the last thing, so we're not going to worry about that right now. Now, on another note, Radivlad is upset again. He has shame for sins. I'm not really too sure what that's about. Oh, he must have copulated with a peasant or something, so that's going to upset him a little bit. I don't even know. I think I have to pay directly from our coffers in order to, let's see, where is it? Forgiveness for sins. Oh, does he have to do that from his menu? Bishop, confess, 135 gold. It will increase his relations with our priest. However, he will get the sin absolved, but I think this will actually be a net negative on his mood for the time being. I don't know if that's worth it. I don't think it is. So we're going to go ahead and skip it for now. Instead, we'll just... It looks like it may be a good time for him to go and hunt with Miramir. Because Miramir has an inspiration right now. So we'll try that. Hopefully he doesn't get himself killed. And then one other thing. See, we do have the forest bandits in our lands now, so it is a good time for us to start building up that army as well. We'll go ahead and set... let's see, who's right here? Silvlad. Okay, maybe we'll put Otrada on this stuff now. She is about to give birth, though. Okay, we'll wait until she's done giving birth. We'll put Silvlad there. Looks good. And then there's one other thing, so... it's not available anymore. Okay, Siva had had somebody available to marry. However, apparently that's not the case anymore. So let's look at this camp of forest bandits. There is only 2. So we could actually take this out now. We would send Miramir. I don't know, though, if I want to chance it with just 2. Let's go ahead and auto it. Save squad, create. It's saying 89%. I would like to get 1 or 2 more warriors first, though. So let's see. Who's the best one? Looks like this guy. And then we'll do 2 more. Now we'll edit the squad and we'll just put these 2 in as well. I'm not really too concerned about the order here, so save squad, edit. And this should be plenty now, 91%. So we'll take that out so that we don't have to deal with them, because otherwise they will start to attack our villages and we don't want to deal with that. And we'll also get a tiny bit of money and a couple of weapons to bring back to our city for us, which will also be pretty good. And now we will go ahead and put Silvlad on this sawshed. And that should be it for the moment. It looks like Ryefield and Mill is now common, which is good as well. Okay, so now we have finally gotten one of the better events, I think, in the game, which is the Minstrel. And the Minstrel allows you to use song, basically, to do certain effects on your peasants. So there is the religious hymn to create some fanatics. The lyrical poem creates positive thoughts. Heroic creates loyalists. And the moral tale basically turns vagabonds into honest peasants. The heroic song is the one I like to prefer. 5 listeners become loyalists. This is a guarantee, and it only costs 50 gold. And those loyalists are very, very useful to have, in my personal opinion. We could send anybody to do this. We'll just do Radivlad, I suppose. And then we will probably have him go and hunt when Miramir gets back. And that should be good for the moment. So we'll have a couple of extra loyalists. Currently we have 8, so getting the most loyalists possible is very good. Because Loyalists are followers of your ruler among peasants and warriors. They can be recognized by a crown pendant, and they will strive to serve in the army. There is no fear of death. They will feel inspired in battle and will never surrender. And if loyalists become unhappy, they may riot, blaming everyone on the fanatic side. And then they will mourn when their beloved ruler dies. So they are very loyal to the king himself, which is very good because you really do not want to chance him losing the support of his armies, because then you can start to deal with, conspiracies and things like that. So you do not want to chance that if you can avoid it. Okay, so we're about to jump into this battle with these bandits. However, as you can see, it looks like Kriege is going to get a threat of vassalage from Reckon, and Reckon is actually 35 strong. They don't seem to have a very strong army as far as the average combat, but they do have a lot of soldiers. Now, Kriege themselves has 19. It looks like they're getting 17 from Siva, 11 from Vasna, and then they have 14 on the map. Now, in the past, the ones on the map didn't always count what's shown here. Let's take a look. It looks like they are counting here. So they have, what is that? 47? And that's not including anything that could potentially come from Ugrad, although they probably would have sent those already. And we could send ourselves a couple of soldiers over there to help them out as well. Otherwise, that alliance would fall apart if they get taken over by Reckon. So that is something we would prefer not to have happen. However, if it does, then that just fast tracks how quickly we need to get ourselves an army together. So let's go ahead and jump into this battle with these bandits. This is going to be very, very easy. All we really need to do is just kind of send them over. We do have some basically squad commands that we can do. Typically what I do is I hit stay in the back once they get a little bit closer. We'll hit stay in the back now. Keep Mirror Mirror out of harm's way. And as soon as they get involved there, see, they all get involved and Mirror Mirror stays back. So he won't take the immediate brunt of the damage. And then he can run in and do some damage himself. And there we go. A pretty easy battle. They both died. I don't think any of ours got injured. And we get ourselves a little bit of weapons, some money. We even get relations with the matriarch for it as well, which is quite nice. And yeah, we basically lose nothing, and now they will not cause us any more trouble. Now, on another note, our saw shed is finished. We don't need to prioritize it or anything. We're just going to continue upgrading it. And same thing on the mill. And we are going to set that to energetic and priority. Now, Mirror Mirror is back home, but he has lost his inspiration, so he doesn't have quite as strong of a combat skill. I don't know if I really want to risk Radivlad or Mirror Mirror dying, so maybe we could just send him with Orsicor here. I mean, we could do that. Flesh Wolf Hunt. It could get Radivlad killed, but I'd rather him get killed than him and Mirror Mirror, so, you know. And if his mood gets low enough, then he will just have a nervous breakdown anyways, so it's probably better just let him have a chance to improve his mood a little bit. Okay, and our workshop is now finished, so we're going to go ahead and put Silvlad on this. We're actually going to start moving some things back over to Radivlad, probably just these two. Is that good? Yeah, that should be fine. And Otrada is... oh, okay. Her green face went away, so I thought she might have miscarried or something, but I guess she is just not. I don't really know why she is not giving birth now. I thought it should have been time. Maybe she lost the previous child? No, I don't think so. Either way, she's going to be incapacitated for some time. But what we want to do now, we're going to set this to energetic as well in priority. We'll start upgrading it. And what we want to do now is set up on the economy part. We want to set up tools. And we want to create, probably do until 50, I suppose is probably fine. We could even start to create like maces. We're going to wait a little while on this because we currently need our iron for the tools. But we could create our own maces, which would be pretty good once we get an army together so that we can pretty much just arm them ourselves without having to buy anything from the trader. That should all be pretty much fine for the moment, though. Okay, so we did go ahead and upgrade these buildings a little bit farther. We are just maxing them out. And as you can see, they are all reinforced here at Kriege. They are now offering us 500 gold in a loan. I think we're going to go ahead and take this. So basically, we will just go to our money lending, borrow the money, And we'll send Radivlad just so hopefully kind of prolongs his nervous breakdown because he wasn't actually able to do his hunt for some reason. And once we get that money, we will hire a couple more soldiers and we're going to head over to help them defend Grige, even though we'll probably just try to hang back and let them do most of the actual damage. But it tends to be a little bit better if you actually have the user involved because the auto system isn't always the best. And hopefully we can help defend Grige pretty well. Okay, now we accidentally messed up because one of our warriors actually just abandoned the city. So that is because they are upset because they are not currently in a house. And we're going to go ahead and hit priority to warriors on, actually we'll do it on this house over here because they don't really need to be that close to the production buildings like the peasants do. And as you can see, that has improved their mood immediately. It was just because of the homelessness. Don't make that mistake and make sure that you are keeping your peasants, your warriors rather, homed. And we'll actually take this one on priority to warriors too, just for the future, so we don't mess that up again. So we did lose one of our warriors, but that does happen sometimes, and at least we can fix what is making them upset now and prevent that for the future. Now, luckily for us, it appears that the attack on Kriege has fallen through. I don't think they actually did the attack, so they must have just given up for whatever reason. And that is pretty good. Maybe it was because maybe their king died or something like that. But either way, they decided not to do the attack. We're just going to skip out on borrowing the money then. We only really needed it to help bolster our army for them. Otherwise, I don't want to have to deal with coming back and delivering the money back to them later. So we'll just skip that for now. Okay, so now is the night of our 20th day here, and we actually have the trader as well as an increased price here on the flour, which means we're getting 7 each, which is actually more than we're getting in any of our trade routes. So we're going to sell a whole bunch of it here, get ourselves a few hundred gold nice and easily, and we could actually sell it until that price actually drops down, which apparently is quite a bit. So there we go, we get 711 gold for that. We can actually probably sell these bows, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and sell those. We could sell the rye as well for 5 each. That is actually pretty much close to as good as we're getting for the flour, so we're going to take that as well. And we can actually look at some of these books, and I think the only thing that I really want to consider is maybe getting the mine so that we can start to produce our own iron, which will allow us to make tools faster, which will allow us to create paper. So we might do that. And if we wanted to, we could also potentially get the coal furnace, and then we could start to produce more of our own weaponry. But for right now, I think that is okay. We'll just go with the 800 gold back, and should, I think, be fine. We could even get rid of some of these spears, but I would like to actually hang on to them for now. Yeah. And we can go ahead and now go to hiring, and we can actually hire ourselves. We don't really want to get any of the macaw ones. We would prefer to only have Varns whenever possible in our army, because they'll stay happier, and it's a lot easier to deal with the wrong culture when it's peasants than it is when it's with your army, to me personally. So we're gonna go ahead and hire this guy here, and we'll hire, who else? Is anybody here cheaper than 200? It doesn't look like it. We'll hire these two. Okay, now our third child has been born, Lidovlad. Let's say, wow, 2 talents, so a talent in intelligence and command. They will be very good at some point. We're gonna actually set them to general training, but we'll have, I suppose, just Otrada educate them, and now we're just gonna have to wait, and we're gonna continue to build up. So we have our workshop at level 3, we have our saw shed at level 3, all of our mills are at level 3 as well, so we're gonna start working towards the paper workshop as well as building up our residential houses so that we have a little bit more room. I think this will be another 24 slots, so that should be up to 72 when you combine the peasants and the warriors together. And that should be plenty for the time being. Now, our prisoners are super upset because they are currently homeless. I don't think Yeah, we need to use the prison ward, and we would want that to be close to our warriors, I think. We'll set it down for now, but I'm not really too worried about it. I think these are the same spaces used up either way. So we'll just set that here, and we'll snooze it for the time being. I'm not really too worried about if the prisoners do decide to leave, because honestly, we're doing fine without them. It is nice to have, though, because they do work later, but I'm not too concerned right now. We are trying to build up the rest of our productions. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because it's probably not going to be very important. However, our peace treaty with Sofia has fallen through, and now they are trying to force us into neutrality. They only have 22 soldiers. I don't think that our alliance will allow them to do any damage to us. It's given us 2 days, though, and then they will potentially try to test our strength. So it is a good thing that we are starting to build up our army. We may even want to, I like to keep 1,000 gold minimum, but I think we may even want to build up our army right now, just a little bit more. So we're gonna hire 2 more of our peasants. Now, you could potentially keep your loyalists in the actual peasantry. I did just hire one in the army. That is up to you. It is good to have the peasants being very loyal, but I would prefer to actually have a very loyal army, so we're going to go ahead and go with that. And otherwise, that should be it for the moment. Okay, so our paper workshop is done. We'll set up Silvlad on that. And we're going to go ahead and go to our economy and immediately start creating some paper so that we can start to make some trade routes again as fast as possible. And we'll just set it up to 50, should be fine. Not too worried. Now, we did get a ton of reinforcements, actually. It looks like 13 here from Vasna. What is that? Another like 11 or something from Ugrad. 21 coming from Gorno. So we are going to be set up pretty nicely. Another 20 coming from Siva as well. So Sofia has no chance. It looks like they just lost some troops to something as well. So yeah, they should not have tried to force us into an agreement. In fact, we may be able to turn them into our very first vassal whenever we decide that we want to leave our alliance or whatever, however we decide to do that. Which we will probably be deciding in a different episode. So that should be all good. Now we finally have the paper going. We're going to start upgrading this as well. And we're not going to set it to priority or anything like that because basically we only want to create the paper when we actually have the extra resources. So we'll just let it go. However, unfortunately, Ugrad and Vasna updated as far as what they want from trade. And it seems that nobody actually wants flour at the moment, so we're just gonna have to hold on to it and hope we can sell it to the trader whenever we need extra money. Reckon actually wants tools, so that's a possibility that we could create a trade route for that as well with Vasna, so potentially that's what we're gonna have to do is sell some tools, but for right now we're just gonna have to wait. We're gonna go ahead and lay down some roads leading from our newest houses into the rest of the city. So let's go ahead and bring this across as well. And we'll loop it around for anybody who happens to be working here during the day. It'll be faster for them to get there. And that should be pretty good. Now here we are at the trader. Unfortunately, that price increase on the flour is down, but we are going to sell a little bit. We'll just sell right up to the market saturation value. And we could also sell a little bit more rye, but I think we'll just start hanging on to it from now on. And then there is pretty much nothing to buy, so we'll just take the money, I think. Yes, that's probably fine. We could potentially start thinking about selling our tools, though. Like I mentioned, to maybe probably to Vasna. Let's see how much they would buy them for. 28 per item. That's pretty good. We would need a source of iron, but we could potentially start buying it from Kriege, and they would only want 13 each. That would be a potential way. Of course, we could just learn it ourselves and go over to this mine over here, but we would have to sacrifice some workers to it. We'll go ahead and start learning the mine. We'll have Mirror learn it. And then we will potentially start making our way over there. It's not too far away. It is close to these houses, so it should be fine. They can pretty much just go straight over there. But otherwise, we have 1,000 gold again. We're going to go ahead and hire a couple more warriors. We'll hire you and anyone else that's a Varn. with a 10 combat. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, it looks like the highest now is 9. We'll hire you. There we go. That should be good for the moment. Okay, now we got a new event, and this is one that I have heard a little bit about. So basically, you can sacrifice your firstborn child to the goddess Dahamut, and they will kill any of your enemies anywhere in Norland. This could be useful if you are having a lot of trouble by this point in the game. Say you're having like a really big kingdom over here that's trying to take you over or whatever, or just constantly giving you problems, raiding your villages or whatever. You could kill their king of their, whoever's ruling them, and that could hopefully set back their kingdom a little while. And that could be one way to kind of get a better footing in the world. We're not going to worry about it, but it is something kind of interesting to see, and I really like the design there of their pawn, honestly. Okay, now I think that pretty much does it for us on our 22nd total day now. And we are now up to 9 warriors, which means we have 61 in total compared when added with our peasants. We also have 1 criminal. We do have the 5 prisoners, which we should probably start to house so that they don't all run away. They will actually help produce things in our city a lot faster. Now, in the next episode, we will be fast-tracking everything in our army. That's basically going to be our main goal now, is to build up as many troops as we possibly can. We're going to be needing more housing for that, for sure. And that's probably it. We pretty much have our production in automated mode at this point. There's not really too much left to do. We could get ourselves a temple so that we don't have to have the altar here anymore. But other than that, everything is working pretty well for us. So that is going to be it for this episode. And, as always, I thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.